Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
What's up, geeks? Mike from the Geek Media Corps podcast here, and I am here today to talk to you about something a little retro. Now, something we like to do on the podcast is something we call Flashpoint, which is basically just like a snapshot in time, a this week in history kind of thing. But you know, Danny being such my co-host, being so much younger than me, not so much, but a little bit younger than me, we don't always get to talk about the same thing. So I decided I'm gonna start this little section here on the video site for the on the YouTube channel called Flashpoint Reviews, where I'm going to talk about some older stuff that Danny may have missed. And well, this week we're going way back, and I mean way back. And you know, that's probably just to some of you younger viewers. We're talking 1987 here, and we are talking about a little thing which was probably really helped birth my love for science fiction television, and that is Star Trek: The Next Generation. Now, when these individual sets came out, these Blu-ray sets, I mean, they were like $75-$80 a piece. I didn't think it was worth that much to lay down another $500 to try to upgrade the DVD sets that I already own. Right there. I didn't think my wife was going to understand that. But I mean, this is one of my favorite series ever. And now they've got the complete set here. Best Buy was running a one-day sale where they were selling it for $99. You know, even on Amazon right now, I think it's like $170. So I couldn't say no to that. I mean, as you can see behind me, I can't say no to some good media. But if you listen to our podcast and you found a reason to click on this video, chances are you already know about Star Trek: Next Generation. I mean, I used to watch the original series as a kid. I mean, I was a Captain Kirk guy through and through. You know, he'd kick some ass. He'd go home with the blue bitch. You know, all was well and good. But I would catch those on Nick and Night whenever I saw them. So when the Next Generation was coming out in 1987, my brother was real excited about it. I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, there's no Kirk. You know, there's no Spock. I mean, is this really going to be something for me? Nah. But when it came out, man, it just completely just blew my mind. And this was, what, 4 years after I think Return of the Jedi came out? So I was already starting to, you know, Star Wars was kind of starting to fade. And I was starting to think, you know, maybe, you know, I'm wearing out those old VHS of Star Wars, the original trilogy. In my opinion, the only trilogy that exists. But yeah, so we watched the first episode, Encounter at Farpoint, and man, I was just floored. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, you go back and watch it now, it looks a little aged, except on these Blu-rays, man. These Blu-rays, they have completely restored the show. I mean, besides it still being a 4:3, you know, not widescreen format, it looks like a completely new show. It looks like something that could have come out today. The special effects have been redone. I mean, they've got these videos on YouTube showing what the original broadcast looked like and what this looks like, and it's night and day. I mean, it's incredible, man. But, you know, back to how I got into this, man. There was a time when, me and my brother were 6 years apart in age, and we didn't get along about anything, man. The only thing we could talk about was something that had the word Star at the beginning. Star Wars, Star Trek. That was it, man. So this was kind of like that once a week where me and my brother could actually get along long enough to watch something together, you know. And we couldn't talk about much. We could always talk about Star Trek. And it's kind of funny because I used to tease him that he looked like Commander Riker. You know, he finally embraced that at his last con and actually dressed as Commander Riker. I'll share that picture in the comments somewhere. But, you know, Trekkies will argue to the end of the time what their favorite Star Trek series is. I still have, you know, the original series still has a very special place in my heart, especially the movies. But, I mean, 7 seasons of Next Generation, it's still watchable today. It's so good, and it's just all a matter of opinion, which you like better. It really is all good. I'm definitely not one of those choose types. Man, I have nothing but love for this series. I watched an episode right before I recorded this, yesterday's Enterprise. So good. Man, so good. I really just can't say enough about it. But you know how much I love this series. But as a geek, though, I can't think of anything that was more seminal of forming my really what I created this podcast off of, just a geek media pop culture. Like I said, other than watching the original trilogy, than Star Trek: Next Generation. So let's go ahead and talk about this set, though. All right. So nice little slip sleeve here. Came damaged, of course, you know, because everything that comes to UPS is always going to be damaged. But they got these big, giant emeries here. Really cool stuff. This is season 5 through 7. Season 1 through 4. Good stuff there. So they got these giant cases in here with all the discs, just like you would get if you bought individual sets. You know, if these pop out, and you got your little episode guide and stuff in there. Really cool. And I can't believe none of these popped out in shipping. It's incredible because, like I said, the box didn't come in too good a shape. So, again, your episode guide. Cool artwork. So, yeah, 7 seasons, 100-something episodes. I think 187. I'm not really sure about the exact number. 187, 178. But, man, for $100, I would jump on BestBuy.com right now and see if they still have this deal, because you're not going to get that deal again. Like I said, Amazon usually will price match, and even they were like, I emailed them like, well, you can't go that low for this set. So, I mean, 7 years of this show for $100. I mean, iTunes charges $2.99 an episode right now. So, I mean, yeah, clearly this would be better. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure that one out. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say except that this series is just, it's great. And you just got to see the difference. You look up, I'll post a link in the episode description here of the comparison videos. It's just incredible. It's night and day. And sometimes it's not that good, though, because you can see some of the prosthetics and the makeup, and you can see Troy's like split ends and stuff in the first season, and Riker's crazy beard. But man, it's just, it's such a great series. Really can't say enough about the series itself. And now this is like watching it again for the first time. And I mean, even the bad episodes, and you know, when a show runs for 7 years, sci-fi especially, there's going to be some bad episodes in there, but this makes even those bad episodes watchable again. Man, I can't wait to watch all these. I can't wait till my oldest son gets a little older. He's pretty much just Star Wars right now. When he starts getting into some Star Trek here, it'll happen. It'll happen eventually. I can't wait to watch some of those with him. And yeah, that's really all I got left to say about it. Just, it's definitely worth the money. Check it out. Any questions you got, let me know. These discs are exactly the same ones you get if you bought the individual season sets. Just plain, nothing fancy on them. But it's got all the special features. I think there's like a certain documentary someone was saying, some special that they had that were only on the individual season sets. But again, you're going to pay $100 for this, or you're going to pay, you know, 70 plus for each season. Really, it's up to you. As you can see behind me, I got to spread the wealth around a little bit. So, yeah, that's about what I got for this. Check out the series if you guys, Star Trek Next Generation. If you've never watched it before, do yourself a favor, man. It's a geek essential. Watch it. Love it. You will. And then watch the movies, because they're just as good. And check out the podcast if you get a chance. It's called Geek Media Core. Obviously, you're on this channel. You have found the channel we post on YouTube. We're also on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at GMC Podcast, and follow me on Twitter at Zep1978.